And I'm trying to be Iron Man.
Welcome to the Buc Buzz.
Hey, Jake, maybe we should do it as Jake and Roman, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay. Well, so Jake, I heard you were involved in Key Club. What's that all about?
Well, it's basically a volunteer organization, and we organize events in our school and around the community.
Wow, that sounds awesome. I think I'm going to join.
You definitely should.
Well, I'd love to learn about the club.
Well, Ro, Cole Shirtliff and Zach Dano have prepared a segment about this new club that I actually interviewed in. The segment highlights some of the events that the club has planned and is a general overview about how the club will operate. Let's have a look.
Key Club is a club that focuses on doing charity work, doing community work, giving back to the community, volunteering. It focuses on building leadership within the students. And so our focus will be those three things this year. And we've already discussed some activities that will take place where we can give back to the community, fundraisers that we can have so that we have the financial means to purchase things and give things back to the community also. As of right now, there are 25 members that have come to the meetings so far, but we are always open to more individuals that would like to join.
How are you involved with Key Club?
Right now I'm the co-president. Me and Kira O'Gorman are co-presidents together. This is my second year doing it.
What are some of your upcoming projects for Key Club, and when will those projects be taking place?
Well, the big project we're working on now is a Cookies with Santa thing that we will be doing on December 6th as of right now, taking place at Alex's. We're going to be bringing Santa and cookies, and we're going to get a ton of kids from the elementary schools to come and eat cookies with Santa and just enjoy the day. And we also have a toy project where we're going to be donating toys, most like the local elementary schools.
As co-president, what are some of your responsibilities for Key Club?
Well, a lot of my responsibility is just showing up and providing my input. We have officer meetings where we focus group some of the ideas that we as a club came up with, and yeah, definitely just organizing events and always being at the events that we organize.
That sounds interesting. I definitely think I'll join.
You should. In other news, Oswego has become much safer due to efforts by the Oswego Fire Department. The fire department has accepted 3 gracious donations from Lowe's, the United States Coast Guard, and Exelon. The first of these donations was from Lowe's, who donated 200 smoke detectors to support the residential fire safety program. Smoke detectors have been proven to save lives, and the firefighters have been installing smoke detectors in the homes where they have been called. They're also starting to visit homes of those in need of smoke detectors to equip the home with the smoke detectors that they need to assess the home of possible fire hazards. The donations from the Coast Guard and Exelon are life jackets to contribute to the Wear It program in Oswego. All of these donations will allow the fire department to make Oswego a safer place.
Yeah, it's good to hear that some of the local organizations are making these donations to make Oswego safer. Now we'll take it over to a community segment about the comic shop by Olivia Rando and Tanner Wengen. The comic shop in Oswego is one of the
The
most...
Oswego Comic Shop is a popular destination for fans of pop culture in Oswego area. The comic shop is in what used to be a firehouse for firefighters. The comic shop didn't start until 1992 when Arlene Spizman came across a large selection of comic books.
I used to sell antiques, and when I sold the antiques, I used to come across some old comics very often. And I noticed that a lot of the kids in the neighborhood would come in and look through them and buy them. And my husband came upon a big collection of comics at a garage sale that filled our van. There was a young man who was moving to New Jersey that night, and he had to get rid of his comic collection, so we bought it, and that's what started the business. At that point, I knew nothing about comics, but I learned very quickly. That was back in 1992, and that's right about the time when Superman died. So comics were very popular right then, and there were a lot of stores popping up that sold comics.
The comic shop continues to be a favorite of locals, and many attend their events and tournaments.
We have tournaments for the card game Magic the Gathering. Every Friday night we have tournaments, and we have pre-release tournaments whenever a new set's coming out, and release events and game days. I think we offer a very, very, very strong alternative place for kids to come.
For more information on the comic shop, go to OswegoComicShop.com.
I don't think I've ever been there, but I think I should. It seems really cool.
Yeah, it does. Now we'll take it over to Greg and Taylor, who have prepared a segment about some of the classes that are being offered by Ms. Frank that many students are starting to take advantage of. Let's send it over to them.
There's recently been an addition of new electives within our school. One of the new English electives that we got to discuss about was The Touch of Evil, taught by Mrs. Frank. We recently talked with Mrs. Frank about the class and what it has to offer.
The Touch of Evil elective course focuses on examining the human nature of society in general and what man is or is not capable of, hence the idea of evil. And so we examine a number of texts. We started out with Dracula and Carmilla. We're going to read things such as Rats in the Wall. We read The Yellow Wallpaper. We just finished actually viewing the film Angels and Demons. We're going to take a look at serial killers, definitely some artwork, symbols within society. So covering quite a number of a variety of texts in order to examine and take a look at human nature and our curiosity for particular things. And does that err on the side of evil or does it not? As far as books in this elective, we actually have already read the one and only, and it was Angels and Demons. And that's the only novel that we plan on assigning. Dracula we pulled excerpts out of and paired it with the novella Carmilla. We're going to do a number of shorter texts, such as poems or articles and short stories, but only one novel. I have wanted to do different electives for a number of years, and I've toyed with a few different ideas. And so what I ended up doing is I went back into the course catalogs of years past, and I came across old electives that were taught once upon a time, and I was looking at the titles, and I came across Touch of Evil. And I looked at the outline for it, and I thought, you know what, I can do this, and I think it would spark a lot of interest amongst our student body. And so I tweaked it a tad and presented it, got permission to do so, and now we have a waiting list to get into the class. So I think we're onto something. Students are interested in this type of material. It's both. On the books, it is my name that is associated with the student list and the course, but Miss I from the library comes up as frequently as she can do so, and so it is in essence a co-taught class. She and I have done a lot of work behind the scenes, and we continue to do so as we move through the course, and so she is up here as frequently as possible. So it's a co-taught course, but on the books it's my name. I sure hope so. I sure hope so, because I get excited about courses like this, and I'm hopeful that the fact that there's a waiting list and there's chatter amongst the student body about the course as they hear from students currently enrolled about how they're enjoying it, what we're studying. My hope is that this elective will stick around and that we can promote enough interest where the numbers stay high enough to warrant that the elective continues.
We take some of those classes.
Yeah, me too. Well, over the years, many schools in Oswego County have had to deal with problems related to drug abuse. This problem not only disrupts public education, but also harms the health of students. In order to finally solve this problem, the state has given schools around Central New York $40,000 to support anti-abuse programs in schools that will hopefully discourage students from substance abuse. According to Senator Ritchie, through these in-school programs, we're getting the message to them at a young age that drugs destroy lives. This funding is helping to arm students with valuable information about the dangers of drug abuse.
I think that if they succeed in creating more programs in school to rally against drugs, then the problem won't spread to future students.
I agree, this could definitely be a big help in suppressing student drug abuse.
Well, that's going to conclude our show for this week.
Make sure you tune in next week for an edition of Buc Buzz.
Have a happy Halloween and a terrific day to each us.